Alright, let's see what we can't do here. This is a piece, I call it buckskin. I don't know if it's a type of pertinalis or what. This piece is a gnarly little nodule. It's got all kinds of problems. It's real thick. I've already taken a few flakes off of it. But we got a lot of work to do here. You know, I've got one good platform I can hit down in here and try to drive this big lump off down in here. But really, really good material. Find a lot of times out here on this Cortex, my copper boppers want to slide off. Sometimes you have a lot better job making those strikes with a hammer stone. For some reason they bite better. We'll try it with the copper bopper at first, but we'll just kind of break off some of the weak edge. This is the stuff right here that'll kill you when you hit it. That's what'll crush on you. It'll take all your energy from your strike. You don't want to hit that. You want all that off. You want to have a nice, good, strong edge to hit. So I've got one lip right here that's low. You know, my center line will probably be in here somewhere. I got one low lip right here that follows a ridge kind of down into this concavity, so probably knock some mass off here and have that flake terminate down here in this concavity somewhere. That's the plan anyway. I actually undershot that concavity and leveled it out quite a bit. Goofy little piece. So we undershot that concavity and got rid of it, which did some good. So I've kind of got a face right down in here, and I got this big knot, and I'm going to try to take a big short flake right through that stuff and just kind of blow this whole knot off the bottom right here, this whole piece right here. See if we can't do that. Again, get it really good and braced up against my hand. Support the platform, or support the ridge with my leg. There's the lip. I'm going to be driving straight down into here. I'm going to tilt up just a little bit to get my angle right. So now we're doing a little bit of good. Kind of got a little platform here. I can kind of run a shot down across this ridge and can blow out some of this. But I need to hit that one really accurately, so we're going to run to direct, indirect. Somebody was asking me the other day, where do I set my big indirect tool on my platforms? And when I set this big tool up, I'm not setting it right here on the point of the platform. I'm setting it up into the platform some. I want to make my initial break back up in here so I can undercut a lot of meat in here. And that's when I like using that copper to strike with. It does a good job of initiating that crack high in the platform like that. Just that initial shock. A lot of guys like to use wood mallets. And this is going to be another one of those times when I tip up. So there's my angle. So to get the angle level, that's where that would be. So if I set my tool in there and level, but I don't want it perfectly flat, I want it tilted down some. I think I may have been confusing in some of our videos talking about getting that plane level. When I get the plane level, it's just for a reference mark. So here's the plane I'm interested in striking against. So there it is level, and I tilt it down just a little bit to get the angle right. Real high into that platform. I'm braced up real good on my leg. There's the flake. So we drove some of that knot off. Really like this material. Really good stuff. Indians in Central Texas were really blessed. They had some really good material to work. Pernalas and buckskin. Yeah, come on, you dog. Scared to hit it much harder than that. That shot hurt my pinky. I got a little crack right in here. This flake hinged out, but you can see where the flake was running before it hinged. So that ought to pop off pretty easy. It almost comes back in here and connects. Now we got a ridge right here and kind of got a platform right there. It's not all that great, so I'm gonna flip it upside down and beat on it a little bit. It's locked solid in my hand. Drove all the way across. Kind of a little funky piece. I'm gonna try to hit right here. Try to do it freehand. It's a kind of a goofy angle to get in there with the copper, and I think the copper is going to slide off. So take a hammerstone and kind of lay my finger kind of along the ridge a little bit. I'm going to brush it right on that platform. Don't want to go. Got a copper. Just copper grabbed it. Still didn't get what I wanted to. That outer cortex can be real slick. Got a little crack in there. I don't know how that set on there. But it's gone now. I'm kind of getting it kind of a biface on this end. So here's a real low platform. This would be really good for that indirect tool. Knocking obsidian off the table. trying to scissor this edge right now. And there's a good platform for the indirect. Yeah. Should know better. I always braid those things. That one crushed on me. It would have run really good, and I messed it up. I was in a hurry. Kids are on the trampoline going crazy. I got this square edge in the tip. I got some mass in the tip that I want to get out. I'm trying to get that nice edge going and getting it thinned down. So I got a platform right here, and I can run down this angle and remove probably a lot of this right here out of the tip. Hitting on the tip can be risky. This piece is still real thick, so I don't think we're going to have any issue. But when you got a point that's in the spinal biface stages, hitting on the tips can be pretty risky. And it's really important to have it braced correctly. And there'll be a good little arrow point in that. Keep it out of my waste bucket. Really might like making those little arrow points. I'm going to try to do a setup to drive down this ridge right here, and that'll take some more meat out of this tip. It's really low. There's a bump right here. Little flake, but I don't need to take much right there. You know, there's a time and place for driving power all the way across and then trying to take what you need. You don't have to kill the rock every time you hit it. Little short flakes. Crush. That one went in there and hinged out, and I don't know why. That should not have done that. It's real close to the edge, so what we'll do is we'll try to run a shot right down here and blow that out. So since we've got a problem, we're going to make sure we got that edge prepped really, really well, and it's really, really strong. put our finger against the back of the rock, and brace it up underneath the leather, support underneath. Got it some, but didn't get it perfect. That's all right. When I first started, one of the problems I had most was trying to figure out what angle to hold the rock at when I would strike it. And, a lot of that will come to you in time as you get more experience. And you can watch the videos yourself. Oh, you know, you always tip your angle down a little bit. Well, that's not always the case. There's a lot of stuff going on. You watch these knapping videos that they don't talk about. All the little trim work that you're doing around the edge and how you're setting up that edge to hit. How you hold the rock. There's all kinds of little nuances that are going on that you learn along the way that kind of get lost in translation. Because you just do them automatically. Try to explain some of that. We're kind of flat right here, and we're still pretty deep on this edge down here, or underneath. We're still got a lot of mass under here, but this part's getting really, really flat. I think what I want to do is try to take some of this off, so I would flip it over, put it low. What? You have, is that blood or is that dewberry? Blood. Go inside and clean it off. What'd you do, rub it on the concrete? Yeah. So you can see how far up onto that platform I initiated that break right there. I didn't need a big long flake. Now I'm going to try to take one across here. Still got this high ridge right here. What'd you do, just scrape the nail? You'll live. So there's that flake run right down that ridge, using the end of the rock as a ridge. So now we've got this big square edge to deal with. So a lot of times I'm just feeling this rock with my thumb and finding the bulges with my thumb and attacking them and knocking them off. You know, when I watched a lot of videos early on, there was a lot of talk about platforms and striking on the platforms and striking your low edge and this, that, and the other, but not every low edge is a platform you want to hit. If it doesn't have mass in the rock behind it, a hump or bump, you know, you don't want to be hitting on that because there's nothing to remove. There's nothing for the flake to undercut or travel underneath, and you're just going to end up crushing your edge or breaking your piece or having problems. You know, you got to feel for these thick areas, and that's what you want to drive at. That's what you want to set your platforms up on. That's what you want to hit. I was under the impression that when I zigzagged the edge, every one of those low platforms or deltas, big deltas, was a platform that I could strike. Some of them are, but not all of them. Now we kind of isolated this platform. We got a real good chance of driving pretty deep into that and getting that off. And one thing that I find is when I'm doing indirect, is I tend to hold my pieces a lot flatter and get my flakes to run pretty far when I'm even holding them pretty flat, as opposed to tipping them down. Generally, as a general rule, you tip the rock downward to get a real long flake, and you tip it up to get a real short flake. If you hold it flat, it'll just, you know, run feather out. If it breaks down at a cone and you hold the rock at that cone and that fracture runs parallel to the plane of your rock. A lot of that, picking that plane to hit, just comes second nature once you've done it for a while. I'm working on the tip. I don't know if you heard how fast that rock came off and hit that rock over there. Man, if that comes off and hits something and bounces and hits you in the eye, it's bad news. I always wear glasses. I don't always do it. I should. So we're just flattening it out. Kind of got a continuous platform on this one side, so this piece is beveled. It's kind of dipped down on this side. It kind of forms a continuous platform. I'm going to exaggerate that by brushing it with my copper viper and taking the edge down even further. And then I'm going to run a series of flakes down that continuous platform and really flatten this piece out more. I'm just moving over about 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch for each strike. Anyway, getting it straightened out. You can kind of see this series of removals. There's only 2 there. I tried to get a 3rd one out here, but it didn't work. Flatten that piece out and get rid of some of that mass. Try to work on this back edge a little bit real quick. Getting kind of long. When this edge gets like this, where you got all this thick mass and you got these small platforms in there, it's pretty screwy, and that's one of the areas I have problems with. I need to watch some better knappers than me and find out how to deal with that, or how not to make that problem happen. Pretty short flake in there. I'm whining about. You have homework? Have you check the trash cans?
Yes, sir, I did.
Alright. So we're going to make a big removal right here. We got a real low lip on the end, and we're going to try to drive down this ridge right here and get rid of a lot of this mass off the back. I mean, I'm going to shove the tip of this point into my hand with the leather and keep a lot of pressure on that tip. I'm going to split finger it like a split finger fastball on the bottom so that I'm not really putting a lot of pressure where I want the flake to run. And it's got enough pressure from the pad to try to hold it, but mainly to act as a splint to keep that rock from bending. I don't want that rock to bend at all. That tool seated right up on that platform. Dang it, didn't go. Try again. Went a little bit further, but still didn't do what I want. Back this rock's a lot harder. Try again. Dog. I got my platform too rounded, so I'm going to take a little flake off of there. Now I got my platform too rounded. Take a couple little flakes. Did better. Go a lot faster if I don't talk, but if I don't talk, you don't understand what's going on. Sometimes I don't understand what's going on. Thinning that thing down, getting that mass out. Got a lot of it out. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to stop it right there. It's getting along, almost 30 minutes, but we took that gnarly little piece, you know, and we got a first stage biface out of it. It's thin enough out here on the tip to start using small indirect. We still got some mass back here we got to get rid of, but I think we got things worked down to where we're under control. I'm just going to bring this edge up and start attacking this back here like that. So I don't know what we'll get out of it. Kind of looks like a Clovis right now. Maybe we'll go for that.